never even
And a pitcher, right?
and a pitcher, all Hall of Famers,
And you didn't win one.
never even sniffed the playoffs.
I mean,
And
I hate.
and and
I'm not trying to bash on
and I
him,
thought there
but
was something with the Bears and the greatest linebacker and the greatest running back of all time.
and I don't have a problem,
Oh,
and I
with the
guess
greatest head coach of all time. Never even had not just a playoff season. I believe they never had a winning season or something. Oh my god, really? Maybe
I
if
mean,
Buck had stopped getting 15-yard penalties, he would have won something.
killing me. I mean, it's something. There's something completely different than when you have a team with Yogi Berra, Whitey Ford, you know, gosh, the two outfielders. Why am I Roger Maris and
Mickey Man.
oh come on, yeah, Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, the
That's
tough one to remember. Mickey
yeah,
Man.
yeah, the really tough one. Yeah, Sky, sorry, New York, sorry, baseball fans everywhere
And,
for
and
that
rum
for that
triggers.
gap. Yeah, for that gap. but seriously, there's a difference between that team versus the '69 Cubs and their overall careers and legacies.
So on
It's
that Yankee team, is the 25th man on the roster? Is he in the hall?
their announcers even in the hall.
And a couple of guys from their 40-man roster, if they even had that back then. Like, oh, he was in the minors for most of the season, and then he came up. He's in the hall.
Yeah, their bench, their clubhouse manager, the janitor, groundskeeper. Oh gosh, all Hall of Famers, all out there, Yankee Stadium, Monument Park, all that stuff. And I guess to tangent off that, real quickly here, I don't like. I think it's stupid with what the Bears and the NFL have done as far as quote putting a sanction on the number of retired jerseys or numbers that you can have for the Bears. The Bears have had some amazing defensive players, and I don't see why you should punish legends of the NFL by not honoring them appropriately with retiring a number. Hey, if you don't want to retire numbers, draft bad players. We're certainly going to be in an era of very bad players where their numbers aren't getting retired. And I think everyone can pretty much see that since, 80, what, 80, 90, 89, 90.
Well, yeah, but I think that they have to do that anyways because eventually you just run out of numbers. There are no numbers left on the Bears for linebackers. Every number that is allowed for a linebacker is either worn right now or retired. Like if they
Wow.
were to add another, for some reason, add another linebacker to the roster, he'd probably have to get approval from the NFL to wear another number, like a defensive ends number or something. So maybe the rules kind of make sense, I guess.
I guess, but I mean, if they did double up, it's kind of like Lance Briggs. Look at that. Doug Buffon and Lance Briggs are tremendous talents. Some of the better, some of the best uh, linebackers that have played the game, at least for the Bears. I mean, those guys are heroes and legends for that team for a reason, and not just for Brian's song for Doug Buffon, but you had a guy, Lance Briggs. To me, I've always enjoyed his career. I've always enjoyed watching him play for the Bears, probably more so than Brian Urlacher, probably because Brian Urlacher was just so far ahead of the PUD scale and JAG scale that it was like, oh, you know what? Just as spite, I'm gonna like Lance Briggs more than you.
Yeah, well, Briggs, he was more. I think he was more likable, uh, and like you said, he one hell of a talent. But you don't have to retire numbers either. I think Pittsburgh does it where they put your number and name like in the rafters, but those numbers can still be worn.
I guess that's fine. I guess that if that's the distinction, I don't have a problem with that at any time. Um, so I mean, it's very different. The White Sox have, to me,
Statues.
yeah, far too many statues for some mediocre players. Carlton
Evidently,
Fisk being Evidently, yeah, that's two. Carlton Fisk and Harold Baines. No, sorry. I mean, the next statue that should go up for any player is about to retire, and that would be Paul Konerko. But that's another show for another time.
Can I say the whole Harold Baines uh, statue is
It's a living statue.
well,
It's
yeah,
a redundancy. It's redundant.
it's the statue snores. So wait, no, that's not a statue. Um,
Evidently.
evidently, um, speaking of things that aren't necessarily deserved, in the last couple days, David of the Messiah just got traded by the Cubs. That would be David Days.
Oh my
For
gosh.
those who didn't catch
Oh
that,
my gosh. I wanted to get your reaction on that. I'm glad I forgot about that. But I
he got a standing
seriously,
ovation.
the Cubs,
The
no
next
team,
game.
no team in baseball honors their grindy, mediocre, non-black guys and more than the Cubs. You did that. It happened with Mark DeRosa. It happened. I almost want to say Rod Beck had that because I think he had a year or two outside of the Cubs.
Well, okay, but I could even see more cases for those guys. It is marginally marginal as Mark DeRosa was. He was an okay player on a team that won quite a few ball games for the Cubs. So
Yeah,
I can sort of see like the appreciation for him. I don't really get it. Whatever. Like I just said, he was
yeah,
averagely average. Um,
yeah.
um, Rod Beck, he put up he had some really good seasons. He was not on the Cubs for very long though, which makes it kind of weird. That's the thing with David DeJesus. He wasn't even on the Cubs for a full 3 seasons. I don't think. I think he got traded in his third season. He didn't have great numbers. Yeah, he was a great model citizen, and his wife's hot.
Yeah, that's what I think the ovation was for.
If you're giving, if you're giving him a standing ovation, what happens when I don't know? Let's say, for instance, Rizzo gets really good and ends up hitting 500 home runs all with the Cubs, and then gets traded to a team. What happens when he comes to the plate that next game? What do Cubs fans do? Do
Oh
they
man,
each
I don't know.
individually person in the crowd each have their own like bottle rocket and everyone blows off fireworks? Like what? I mean, I there's if you're giving an average player who wasn't even here for very long a standing ovation, like what does a really good Hall of Fame type player receive his first game back?
Oh, that's yeah. I understand. I hear you. I mean, well, the other side
Parachuters,
of town
like
was.
parachuters.
Oh gosh, yeah. Do more night games have a fireworks show? Man, I don't know. Ouch. Yeah, just don't know. Well, bring him back again for the zillionth time, like Ernie Banks.
Now the interesting thing is they can actually bring him back like soon if they wanted because the Nationals now they've wanted him so bad they put him on waivers so the Cubs
I
can go
actually,
and claim him.
yeah, you can bring him back. Yeah, give him another standing ovation. I was gonna say, I think I found his replacement, and that will be Jeff Francoeur. He was designated for assignment by the Giants earlier today. So, hey guys, there's you looking for average. There you go.
I actually think they need a guy named Joe so it could just be average Joe and they will have a statue for him. They will put his number in the rafters. It'll be a giant thing.
Maybe Carlos Quentin could get second life and be mediocre and injured and be heralded for it.
Not likable enough for Cubs fans. Not likable enough.
Oh, he's got the Zambrano style of breaking bats and injuring
Yeah,
himself
true.
from not hitting. or hitting.
If he could
either way you
yell
wanna look
into
at
his
it.
bat, he probably would. After a strikeout, if he could yell into his bat, he probably would.
Oh man, oh that's great. You got anything else?
I, I'm just impressed that my mic worked for as long as it did after 20 minutes of fumbling around with it. So
It's all right. We got it. We got some good stuff out of it. So if it has to hit the showers, that's fine. If it has to go out to pasture, all right by me. That's fine. Let's see. Any thank yous or anything?
I just want to thank the Cubs fans for giving this microphone a standing ovation once it retires.
There you go. Let's see. As you will probably hear in one of the drops, please sign up for our Pick 'em League. All of the hosts are participating. You can, if you do so, your entry is automatic. Is an automatic entry for your chance to win a $50 gift card to NFL.com. So you can fly your flag, get a jersey, burn a flag, as my lag-free co-host might do. But we'll see what happens there. Not saying you should go out and burn things, but if you have a special rival, why not? It's $50 on us. All you have to do, just do your confidence pick every NFL week for 17 weeks, and that's all there is to it. Nice and simple like that. The participant that is not a CSU host with the most points wins the $50 gift card to NFL.com. Entries can be obtained by showing your interest by sending an email to iappodcast@gmail.com, hitting us up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/IAPpodcast, or tweeting at us at IAPpodcast, all one word. So for Mike, who is out, and for Brandon, who is with me, thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week, hopefully.
Thanks for listening to Chicago Sports Update here on Intrepid Audio Productions. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching IAP Podcasts, all one word. We make it easy to listen to us at home or on the go because you can subscribe to us via iTunes or on your browser at Spreaker.com. Listen to us on the go with the Stitcher Radio app, available for all smartphones. Want to interact with the team directly? Leave any questions, comments, or feedback you may have at our Facebook page. You can also like our page to know about special events, shows topics, and listen directly on our page to new and past episodes. Feel free to email us anytime at iappodcast@gmail.com. IAP Podcasts, pioneering the best in independent podcasting. Don't you spend enough time waiting for patches, system updates, and even worse, title updates? On Lag Free, we won't waste your time, and we talk about the topics that you want to hear about in a decidedly different fashion. No scripts or forced sides here. Listen to Lag Free, recorded and released regularly on Intrepid Audio Productions.
Think you know the NFL better than your friends or those so-called experts? What about those guys on podcasts? Well, the time has come to show the world what you know. The Chicago Sports Update podcast is hosting a football confidence pool this NFL season, and we want you, the listeners, to participate. Get in touch with us and let us know you are interested by doing one of the following. Send us an email to iappodcast@gmail.com, comment on the post on our Facebook page, facebook.com/IAPpodcast, or reply us on Twitter @IAPpodcast. How much to join? It's free. What's the catch? No catch. The participant who's not a Chicago Sports Update host with the most points will receive a $50 gift card to NFL.com and get to be a guest on an episode of Chicago Sports Update. The confidence pool will be first come, first served. So get in contact with us to guarantee your chance to win. Pay attention to our Facebook and Twitter pages for important information like how many spots remain and when picks are due. Chicago Sports Update, part of IAP Podcasts, pioneering the best in independent podcasting.